This is Lions on Tap, a weekly look inside the Lions Den. Highlights, interviews, and a look ahead to what's next for the Leos. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Baker, Nick Kowalski, and Bob the Moj Marjanovic.
Welcome to BC Lions on Tap on AM 730 and the BC Lions Audio Network. It's the Moj Bob Marjanovic, along with Matt Baker from the Lions Media Relations Department, Nick Kowalski from the Lions social media team. Gentlemen, welcome to Rivers Reach Pub in New Westminster.
I think your number's retired in here somewhere.
You know what? There's a lot of stuff that's been retired in here, but this is an old haunt. For people that don't know, of course, I grew up in New West, a couple of blocks away from here, from Rivers Reach Pub. I remember coming here as a kid when this was an Italian restaurant in the 70s. It opened in 1970. George Petropavlis and his family back in the day. And then it became Venus Place Restaurant in 1980. And then they transformed it into a pub probably, 10, 15 years after that. And here we are today. So, yeah, many, many memories. This place, 2:30 in the morning after Mugs and Jugs and Chicago Tonight Bake.
Mugs and Jugs.
Oh, we come strolling in here.
What was that?
Mugs and Jugs was like the bar downtown on College Place.
Never heard of it.
It was College Place, so you had Mugs and Jugs on one side, you had Chicago Tonight on the other. Chicago Tonight was the nightclub, so we'd all go to Chicago Tonight, then we'd all come back up here to Venus.
What about
like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, have our pizza, whatever.
What about Barfly, where we're on the topic?
No. Wait,
that was more my era.
That's your era. Kowalski, are we over your head on this one?
I'm learning a lot right now.
Mugs and Jugs, just Google it. Yeah, anyway.
Anyway, we are here in New Westminster. Had a huge crowd here, by the way, and then everybody kind of departed for the Salmon Belly game over at Queen's Park Arena, Game 7 tonight between the Bellies and the Thunder. Hopefully we'll venture over there after it's all said and done here. But looking forward to talking some football for the next half hour or so. And it's going to be a lot of fun today as we're going to have a special guest joining us on location, and he is none other than Maxime Rouyer, linebacker for the BC Lions, special teams demon, and just a great journey to get to the CFL. Max, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Did you like the history lesson you just got?
I'm learning a lot, too.
First off, not the result you wanted against Hamilton. And I know Rick Campbell talked about it after the game, and I know we noticed it even from the broadcast booth. Just the energy level it just seemed you were just flat that game. Any explanation, any reason, anything you could come up with why the team was just so flat?
We had a good week of practice, so there's no really any apparent reason for that. Mm-hmm. We were playing at home. We love playing at home. We love to protect our house. So I don't really have any explanation. Maybe when we started trailing, we didn't bring out what we needed to come back from it. Other than that, everybody was really excited for the game. We had a good environment in the locker room. The music was there. The guys were ready. Everybody came in early. Everybody got their little massage. Everybody got ready to get going. And didn't work out.
You know, it's crazy because if you've been around the game long enough, and obviously you played college at McGill and you played previously, it's crazy how sometimes you can have a great week of practice and then you play a stinker. And then conversely, sometimes you have a horrible week of practice and you come out and play great. It's just football. It's just the way it is.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing you can do. There's no real explanation. We could have a worse week of practice and show up and play a great game. So we never know. We just got to keep stacking, and we'll get them back.
We talked to Vernon Adams Jr., Rick Campbell today at practice, among others, and all were very highly complimentary at the way practice went, and guys, just how quick everyone was, the approach. I guess a couple of the leaders and the veterans got together and talked about what went wrong. What was your response to that, just the way it went today?
I feel like today was a really good day of practice, but as we just said, we never know the outcome of the next game. But the fact that the last two games we lost, I feel we start feeling a little bit of a sense of urgency, and we got to do a little bit more. So the guys showing up a little bit earlier than they do. I see a lot of people in the gym in the morning. Usually it's after practice. No, people show up before practice. So after practice, they can go do more meetings with the coaches, meetings with other players to figure out the little details for the game plan. So sense of urgency, and I like that. And our practice was a little bit shorter because everybody was running on the field. We are at a point where the next game is really important. Even if we are 7-4, the next game is really important, and we cannot let that one go away.
August really flew by too, eh? Like we only have 7 games left in the regular season, so like every game now, it's Labor Day weekend. There's always the old mantra with Labor Day is when the real season starts. Does it feel like that now? The intensity?
Yes, and having this game in Montreal before bye week is going to be really important. Like we got to come out with the W because we're going in a bye week. Some of the guys are going to stay in town. Some of the guys are going to go back home. We know how it is. It's the bye week, so we know we're going to be spread out. If we get a loss and spread out after, it's going to be a bad feel. It's not going to be as good.
You know, it's funny you're talking about how things are kind of going fast. I don't know about you guys, but it just seemed like we went from August to October in one day.
Yeah.
we just kind of missed September, did we not? I mean,
it's already dark outside.
It seemed like that. You talk about heading into that game in Montreal. For you, how special is it going back home to the place where you played your college football at McGill?
So this year it's even more special because I have my mom flying from France to come to the game.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a really important game. We have McGill playing on Friday at McGill, so if we get there on time, I might have the chance to go watch them, and they should come to the game the next day. So my coaches, Ronald Delaire, the head coach from McGill, should be there. And playing at McGill, it's like a homecoming for me. So really excited.
All right, we are coming to you from the Rivers Reach. Big shout out to Trish and her staff for having us here tonight. The old stomping grounds, right at the corner of Blackford and 6th and New Westminster. If you're in the neighborhood, pop on by. We'll have more with Max Rouyer, Lions special teams demon, backup linebacker. We'll talk to him about special teams and the attitude that they have. We'll get into all of it. And by the way, Nick Kowalski's world-famous trivia coming up later on as well. You're listening to BC Lions on Tap on AM 730 and the Lions Audio Network.
Now, back to Lions on Tap. Here again is Bob Marjanovic.
It's the Moj, Bob Marjanovic, along with Matt Baker and Nick Kowalski from the Lions Media Department / social media team. Coming to you tonight from the Rivers Reach Pub in New West. Just talked to Trish, the manager. Got some notes here. Hey, they got daily features every day of the week. $5 mystery beer every day of the week. $5 mystery wine every day of the week. Happy hour every day from 3 to 6. And $6 pints of Canadian every day till 6 p.m. So book your party today. You notice there's a theme there, Bakes, every day. Maxime Rouyer is our guest. Lions linebacker, special teams demon, is with us as well. Just talked about heading back to Montreal. We'll get into your journey in a second, Max, and talk about the amazing story of being born in France and winding up playing football in Canada. But the one thing that I really want to get into special teams, right? It's like from a fan's perspective, they'll do the matchup. Even people in the media will look at a game, offense, defense. And rarely do we talk about special teams. And especially in the Canadian game, there's so much importance on special teams. And I've always found that the best special teams are the ones where players are invested, where the coaching staff and the leaders on the team make those guys on the special teams feel like they're the third unit. They equal offense. They equal defense. It's not kind of I don't want to say a time off, but it's not. It's a key part of the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So especially in Canadian football, since we're only playing third down, we know we got a lot of kicks, a lot of punt return. So it's really important, and that's why we got a couple of our defensive starter and offensive starters, such as Mackie, playing on the special team because, like, our point unit is our most important unit. It's a one-time deal. We cannot miss a block. When we cover, we got to make sure we all in sync together, spreading on the field, making sure we tackle properly. So, yeah, special team in the Canadian League are really, really important, and it's not it's not like offense or defense where it's always put up front. But we're doing a lot of work too.
France, known for the other football, right? European football, soccer, if you will. How does someone growing up in France, before you get to McGill, how do you get involved in this version of football, Max?
So I played the European soccer for about 12 years when I was younger, and I got bored of it I got tired of like doing the same thing. It's always the same thing over and over again. And I wanted to try something different. I went on to do some judo with my little brothers.
Nice.
So our parents just put up to a club, and we had to go there. And that was a nice experience, but I didn't get like the same love as I had for soccer. And when I got 16, a couple of my friends started playing football, and they were like, "Come, try it with us. Give it a try. You'll see how you like it." And here we are.
How did the judo help? And I've talked to people that have wrestled, and they talk about how much it's helped them in terms of leverage and in terms of angles and all that. Imagine the judo must have helped you as well.
Judo taught me a lot about contact, because soccer, it's a sport where you're trying to get away from people. Mm-hmm. Judo is a sport where you're trying to get onto people. So that was a good mix, and I think like the whole path brought me to football just by default.
So what was it like playing football overseas growing up?
So I played 2 years before leaving to come to Canada. I didn't know anything about it before I started, so everything was new. We had a small club in the city where I grew up, so that was like a big family. My second year, they hired a coach from Canada, so that's the guy that put me in contact with the people in Quebec for me to travel there. Otherwise, that was really nice. That was always a good time, because my second year, there's a lot of my friends that went to different schools, so we wouldn't see each other as much. But when we came to practice, we would be all together every time, twice a week, from 8 to 10. So that was just a good time.
You wind up going to a CEGEP in Quebec.
Exactly.
And what was that transition like, going from playing in Europe, going to a CEGEP and playing at that level?
That was a big transition, because everything was new. So even if they speak French, it's a different type of French. Then you get the weather. It's different weather. Like as soon as October starts, it's really different than France. Where I'm from, we don't have that much snow. We don't have minus temperature, so it was a lot to adjust to. But that's where I learned a little bit more about the work ethic, the seriousness of the things. Like if you really put the effort, you get the result. When I was in France, it was more like playing for fun.
Your journey also took you to Poland, right? And this year marks the 1 year anniversary of when you flew from Poland to Montreal to join the BC Lions, correct?
Exactly. So last year, when the CFL training camp started, I wasn't signed. I didn't have a team, and I really wanted to play. And 3 years ago, they started that new league in Europe, where it's a European league, it's a pro league. So most of the players in that league are getting paid. So since I wasn't on any roster in the CFL, I just reached out over there, and the Panthers from Wrocław, they answered me back. We had a Visio/Zoom kind of interview, and 3 days later I was in a plane going to Poland with no expectation, but without knowing where I was going.
How would you compare the level of football in Europe? I mean, is it, say, youth sports? Is it junior football? Is it, what level would you compare it at?
In Europe, we play the American football with American rules, so it's a little bit different. I would say it's between CEGEP and college, between CEGEP and university. It's good, but the problem is like we have a lot of talent and we have a lot of really good athletes, and I think there is some more that's gonna come out. There's plenty of guys that are playing in the NCAA for the next years, this year and the next year. So there's more and more talent that is being seen. The problem is the coaching. We don't have the quality of coaching.
Yeah.
So that's the main issue.
And that's the big thing, because I think a lot of times when you are a physical specimen at that level or any level, you could be a man amongst boys and you just get away on your physicality. And all of a sudden, now you're going up against other men, and now it's like you can't do that anymore. So now it's about technique, right? And if you haven't been taught that technique and you don't know the technique, then it's a steep learning curve. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think of the guy that we had at camp a couple of years ago. Was it Carlos Bronze? Remember the big kid?
Latvian. Yeah.
I mean, he was like a big guy. Like, I mean, he was strong. He was fast, but he just had zero technique because he'd never been coached. And you get to this level, and guess what? You can't be a man amongst boys anymore.
No, because everybody's a man. So yeah. It's different. And that's why I feel so lucky I had the chance to came to Canada, go to McGill. That's really brought me to like that.
When we talk about that learning curve, do you still think you have a lot more left to learn in the game? Are you? And what I mean by that is, you started kind of late in terms of getting really good coaching, and now you're getting obviously great coaching. Do you feel like there's still so much more in terms of your ceiling?
In terms of learning, I don't think so, because I learned a lot, and I'm a fast learner, so there's always things that you need to adjust. You can always get better at different things, but I think repetition is the thing that's gonna make me better. Like at this point, if you don't have reached your ceiling yet, it's a little bit too late. So I feel like in terms of knowledge, I know what I need to know. In terms of repetition and the quantity of doing the same action to perfection it to the absolute finest, I'm not there yet.
Well, Max, before we let you go, very quickly, just to let you know, Matt Baker and Kowalski are going to use your name next week in Montreal, wherever they go. We understand it's going to open a lot of doors wherever they want to go, restaurant reservations, tickets to whatever, boom. Just drop Max's name, you're in, right?
That's it. That's simple.
We don't have to play the game, Max. So that means we don't really have to go to sleep until we fly home.
You can drop mine or bets.
Menard, not Menard. That's trouble.
Menard, it's for older people.
Oh,
I'll use Menard then.
Yeah.
I'll use Menard for older people. Hey, Max, thanks for doing this, and congratulations on an outstanding journey, and hope it keeps going for you for a long time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Well, that is Maxime Rouyer, Lions linebacker, special teams ace. We'll take a quick break. On the other side, we're going to come back and have Nick Kowalski's world-famous trivia. You're listening to BC Lions on Tap on AM 730 in the Lions Audio Network.
Now, back to Lions on Tap. Here again is Bob Marjanovic.
This is Lions on Tap. It's the Moj, Bob Marjanovic, along with Matt Baker and Nick Kowalski from the Lions media team and their social media team. We're coming to you from the Rivers Reach Pub in New West. Yes, my old stomping grounds. 6th and Blackford, New West. Of course, had a lot of fun here, and big thanks to Trish. And again, talk about those features. Every day they got something going on. Mystery wines, mystery beers, happy hours. $6 a pints of Canadian every day till 6. It's a great deal.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm surprised we haven't seen Ian McClutchy in here yet, but he'll be here soon enough.
He's always got another political engagement. Yeah.
It's McClutchy. All right, time for Nick Kowalski's world-famous BC Lions trivia. He's given us the pen and the paper. I got a funny feeling we got, The Price is Right again?
Back by popular demand.
Back by popular demand.
DMs are flooded.
I just want to know where the models are. Right?
Yeah.
Just like, if we're going to have The Price is Right, I want the models.
Yeah, we had fans saying they'll never forget where they were when the Moj nailed Brian Burnham's 7 touchdowns against Hamilton. It was crazy all week. But this week we're going to go all Quebec style. So first question I'm going to get for you guys, and we got Max in here too, is how many players on the BC Lions?
Hold on, Max is going to be involved. You going to allow Max to play?
Yeah, Max is going to play. Let's see if he can stump you guys. So
how many Max Rouyer, you're back in, just to let you know.
Okay.
All right.
So how many players on the BC Lions roster are born in Quebec? Max should nail this. You guys should all nail this.
I'm going to go 3.
Ooh, okay.
4.
What do you got, Max?
4.
The answer is 6.
6?
Joshua Archibald, Siriman Bagayogo, Francis Bemi, Matthew Betts, Justin McInnes, and David Menard.
Yeah.
Justin McInnes is born in Quebec?
How could I forget the 2 draft picks?
Wow.
So that's we'll get Baker and Max tie that one.
Is it actually 7? Because I think Patrice René is from Quebec.
On the CFL.ca page, he's listed as Ottawa.
Okay.
So I did my research on this. But
hey, Max, don't mess with Kowalski at the trivia.
He fact checks it all.
Yeah.
These stats are via Stats Crew for an obvious reason. But how many combined tackles do these 6 Quebec-born BC Lions players have in their CFL careers? How many tackles do they all have combined?
The 6 that we just talked about for their career. Ooh.
See what kind of number you guys get.
Menard's played 5 years. Give him an average 15.
It's here number 9.
Menard's played a lot more than 5 years.
It's here number 9, so.
Yeah.
Menard has the most.
I'm going to go. Okay, I'm going to redo this. 161.
You win. You're right. You're just under Moj. The right answer is 186. Baker had 107. Max had 100.
Yeah.
100.
David Menard has 100 tackles right on the nose.
Yeah.
Justin McInnes has 2 tackles.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
Let's go. Here's another one. How many BC Lions players on the roster right now have played a snap for the Montreal Alouettes?
How many? Ooh, okay. Give me a minute.
Menard, VA.
Nick Usher.
Bolacumbo.
Bolacumbo. Is Usher qualifying
Yes.
as on
Yeah.
the okay,
Sean
so
White.
on the
Sean
team.
Whitey.
White. We're up to 5.
You're getting there.
Schlager.
Schlager.
Good one.
Jones.
Mike Jones making his return this week.
So I'm going to go with.
I think
we're going to go what? 7? 7 sound right?
I went 10.
What do you got, Max?
I got 12 because I know we forgot somebody.
Mojo wins. You guys both went over. The answer is 8. You guys were forgetting Woody Barron and Dominic Davis.
Woody
yeah.
Barron.
Ooh. There you go. 7.
So 2-1 Moj.
So here's the next question. Out of these 8 players, who has the most games played for the Montreal Alouettes? Out of these 8 guys.
Out of those 8
Sean
guys,
White.
who played the most for the Alouettes?
Sean White.
VA.
Who do you think, Max?
I'm going to say VA too.
The answer is Sean White. He beat VA.
Oh,
thank you.
Sean White played 72 games for Montreal. VA played 64, so it's close.
So-
But that's a point for Moj.
That's 3-1 Moj.
Do you guys want to go final question here? So
Sure.
these 8 BC Lions, how many combined games played do they have for the Montreal Alouettes?
So those same 8.
Yeah.
Okay, White 72,
630.
VA 64.
Yeah, that's 2 freebies right there.
317.
317.
That's what I'm going with. 317.
250.
241.
That's a point for Max. The answer is 273. So Moji went over. But Moji's still the winner with 3 points.
Thank you. Done.
Good job.
And that's Price is
Nick
Right this week.
Kowalski's world famous trivia. Thank you, Nick. All right. Again, coming to you from the Rivers Reach Pub in New West. And if you're in the neighborhood, pop on by. $5 mystery beers every day of the week. $5 mystery wines every day of the week. Happy hour every day from 2 to 6. And, of course, I got $6 pints of Canadian every day till 6. Every day there's something going on. It's pretty simple. 6th in Blackford, New West. Matt Baker, before we get out of here, Lions next home game. What's on the docket?
September 16th, bye after this Montreal trip, but it's always a good one. We're calling it Future Stars Night, paying tribute, salute to amateur football, okay? So the community football players will be out there pregame and halftime, I believe. There'll be free mouth guards for every kid, free BC Lions mouth guard for every kid that's playing. And I believe we're going to announce and honor the BC Football Hall of Fame inductees that night. Of course, that one a creation of the late, great Bobby Ackles for football in this province.
And
So,
if people want more info, bclions.com.
yeah, tickets starting here at just $25. I can't beat that. It's our last 4 o'clock home game of the regular season on the Saturday. So should be a good one with Ottawa coming to town.
And if you want to follow the BC Lions on Twitter and Instagram, we suggest you do so. Catch some of Nick Kowalski's great work. I know, Nick, you and your team, including young Liam that's here tonight, you guys are going to have a lot of content in Montreal, right?
Yeah, we're looking forward to this one. The visuals are always so nice there with the nice. It's kind of like a Harry Potter vibe to it, right? That's what I think of.
You took a line from Mike Benson, our old long snapper. We did stadium cribs at McGill in 2016, whatever it was. He said, I think that's Hogwarts up there.
There you go.
Looking at one of the buildings.
Love it.
All right, great stuff. We are out of here. Again, a big thank you to Trish and the staff at the Rivers Reach Pub in New West. Also, Trevor Martinge, the Hall of Fame producer, was here tonight as our engineer. Big thank you to T-Mart. Thank you so much for tuning in. And a reminder, you know what I'm going to tell you before we get out of here? Do what you got to do. Do us a favor. Be safe.